Hey, hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to another movie review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Red Sparrow, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this movie to tell you in short what the movie is all about. Then I'm gonna share my opinions and thoughts about this movie, so in case you didn't watch it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah, just click away from this video and come back later if you want or whatever. But in case you are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this movie, stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Red Sparrow, it's a movie that came out in 2018, and now I should talk about the story of this movie, but I'm gonna say this right at the beginning, that this movie is so boring, so uninteresting, so complicated that I barely got any of its story. I just watched the movie and I don't understand what I watched. I'm not really sure what I watched. Story of this movie puts us in perspective of Dominica, which is played by Jennifer Lawrence, and she's a main character. We can see her as a young girl dancing ballet and helping her sick mother, and you know, she's not really in the best financial situation and her mother is sick. Her mother requests daily care, and you know, she has one lady coming over and helping her mother instead of her when she's away. And you know, her dream is to be ballerina and dance ballet. At the beginning of the movie, accident happens. You know, her legs get broken while dancing, and she's not able to dance ballet for a long time. And she quickly gets replaced by other ballerina, and you know, she gets angry and she beats the shit out of her and like her boyfriend and or guy that was dancing with her. That's the part that I really didn't understand. And then after some time, you know, after she quits ballet because she had a leg surgery, and it's really complicated surgery. You know, her leg was badly broken. Her uncle comes to her house and offers her to become a Red Sparrow. And basically that's just a woman's secret service in Russia that's supposed to be trained to seduce their target and get the information out of them to help Russians. After some time, Dominica is sent on a mission to help her uncle, to actually help Russians discover some American. She needs to seduce one American CIA agent and get the information out of him about the target that the Russians are interested in. And you know, situation gets tricky. She falls in love with that American secret agent, and he realizes that she's Red Sparrow. Actually, she's part of Russian secret service, and he realizes what she wants. And then she tells him the story that she's like forced to do this. She has no other choice. You know, her mother is sick and she has to do something to help her mother. You know, she's in a bad financial situation, and her uncle, which is like the main leader of that Russian service, Russian secret service, offered her that job and she had to accept it. And you know, she go through a bunch of shit on that like training. There is a lot of well, appropriate scenes, you know what I mean. And you know, girls have to do really all kind of nasty things, you know, to pass those tests, and she tells all of that to that American secret agent. And like I said, she falls in love with him and plan doesn't work out. So basically she betrays Russians and her uncle. She realizes that her uncle is actually a really bad person, bad man, and Americans and explain to her that they're actually the one who are right, of course, from their perspective. Russians are, of course, again, right from their perspective. But you know, because she fell in love with that secret agent that she was supposed to get information out of about some other American guy, like I said, story is so complicated, I barely understood it. And yeah, she basically starts working with Americans, and she just, you know, turns against Russians. And that's pretty much the whole story of this movie so far that I've got. Probably there is a bunch of fucking details, bunch of things that movie maybe explained, but I just didn't get it. That's how boring the story of this movie is. It's so boring. I expected this movie honestly to be more of an action movie. That's how I imagined this movie with Jennifer Lawrence. You know, she played very good role in Hunger Games, and this was such a letdown. You know, I expected much more from this movie, and I didn't got any of it. I expected this movie to be much more interesting, to have much more interesting characters, to have action scenes, but there is barely, literally any action scenes. There's almost no action scenes in this movie. There is 2 or 3 fighting scenes, and that's it. Everything else is just one big drama that you need detailed analyze to understand. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. I might be so stupid to not understand this movie, and this movie actually makes me feel stupid. I really feel stupid after watching this movie. You know, ending scene is something that I also didn't understood. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was like, I don't know. I seen that scene and I was like, what? What just happened? What? I don't understand. What was that? You know, it just like, it left me with a lot of question marks above my head, and there is so many questions unanswered for me in this movie. Like I said, it's so boring. First of all, it's so hard to follow. Movie starts off really slowly, really uninterestingly, and through the movie you hope that things do get more interesting, but it just doesn't. You know, it's repeating the same scenes. That's how it feels. You know, this movie feels like it's recycling scenes all over and over and over again, and everything just feels the same. Everything they're talking about, names they're mentioning, everything feels the same. It feels like you're watching the same scene all over and over again. I don't know. I just didn't like this movie at all. I would, if I could, I would give it like the worst possible rating. I'm sorry, but I didn't got any of this movie story or whatever, so I can't say anything much about this movie. It was just so uninteresting, so hard to follow, and that just killed me, like, completely. I wanted to quit watching movie at some point, because nothing I hoped for to see was happening. Nothing I hoped for to see in this movie happened. None. Like, zero. It was huge letdown. I honestly love Jennifer Lawrence as an actor, and I think she's a good actor, and she did a good job in this movie, but just the scenario of this movie, the script was so boring and so complicated. You know, the movie just starts throwing so many names and so many events happening, that just you can't process them in your head. That's how I felt. And then in the end, just you don't know what the hell you watched. It was so complicated for me, and I feel stupid. I honestly really feel stupid, and some of you may laugh at me right now and say, oh, this guy is very dumb, he didn't got any of this movie story. But I told you what I've got so far from this movie, from its story. Probably there is a bunch of details that I didn't realize. You know, there are scenes where movie explains you these details, and I got that part. But there are probably a lot more scenes that explain reasons for all these events and everything that happens in the movie. But, you know, in my opinion, very boring movie, complete waste of time. I didn't enjoy it at all. Like, there was not a single second of enjoyment for me for this movie. Just terrible movie for me, in my opinion. Some of you may like it, some of you may understand it, and for some of you this movie might be amazing, but this is from my perspective, my own opinions and thoughts. You don't have to agree with them, of course, but yeah, unfortunately I cannot say anything good about this movie. That's just it. It was terrible. Alright guys, so that's it for this review. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe. If you disagree with me or whatever, you can also leave a dislike if you want. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them on my ass.fm. Link is down below in the description. Also, down below in the description, you can find a link of my Chris Facebook group that you can join and follow me over there. I post all kind of stuff over there. And yeah, guys, I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support so far. You're amazing. We are almost at 100 subscribers, which is pretty cool. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos, guys. Chris out.